everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was released in the year of 1982. We're talking about a fragrance that is well known amongst people who collect fragrances. We're talking about Drakkar Noir by Guy Laroche. Now, I'm not sure why I said it that way, but I tend to really stink at pronouncing fragrances, so just keep that in mind and brush it to the side, and let's get on to the actual fragrance review. Now, this fragrance, again, was released in 1982. It's quite an iconic fragrance, and a lot of fragrances that you see and smell today are really based on that fragrance. So it was really fun for me to actually go back and take the time to really study this fragrance and review this fragrance for people to actually, get my take on. Now, this is available in a couple sizes. It's actually available in a lot of sizes, but I'm only going to cover three. The 1.0 is going to run you about $35, the 1.7 about $40, and the 3.4 is going to run you about $62. So this scent is one that is a little bit on the cheaper side, and those are retail prices. If you search around, you're definitely going to find this one far cheaper than you see those prices on it. They're almost giving it away at this point. Now, the bigger problem with this is, since it's been out since 1982, this one has a lot of fakes out. I mean, a lot of fakes out. For that reason alone, definitely buy it from an authorized retailer if you possibly can. Buy it from a department store, buy it from a known good site so you have some recourse if you end up happening to get a fake fragrance. I wouldn't be surprised at this point if even some of the authorized retailers have a fake fragrance of this out, for reasons which I'll touch upon a little bit later. So with that, let's go ahead and start right off with the notes of this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have rosemary, artemisia, lavender, basil, lemon verbena, bergamot, and lemon. For our mid, we have coriander, carnation, cinnamon, juniper, and jasmine. And for our base, we have leather, sandalwood, fir, amber, patchouli, oak moss, vetiver, and cedar. Ooh, geez, a lot of notes there. With a lot of old school fragrances, they tend to just throw a whole bunch of notes in there, and this one is no exception. So what do you get when you smell this scent? The first thing that really hits me is it comes off as a very pleasant citrus that is masculine to its core, but at the same time, not overly offensive. It's more like it's very like a masculine scent that kind of sits on you and it invites people to come to you, if you will. It's very distinctive in that, and I was more surprised at the fact that it stood the test of time. This is a scent that does not smell dated, even though it was released in 1982. It still smells like you could put this one on and people will definitely, enjoy the scent. One problem with it is, because it's been out so long, people have almost definitely smelled this one. Because it's been around so long, people remember their fathers as having smelled this scent all over. So, people will have definitely smelled this scent when they kind of pass you around. But that does not take away from the scent, because it's still pleasing, no matter what you kind of go through. Now, it comes off as, citrusy. It's got this fern-like quality. It definitely is a fougere. It's a little bit aromatic. And when you get to the Drydown, it comes off as like a woody, leather, citrusy scent that really stands the test of time. And it has a little bit of lavender in it as well too. So woods, citrus, leather, and lavender is really the main thing that you're getting from this scent overall. Kind of has a little bit of an ambergris-ish type vibe to it, but I know ambergris is not in there. The one note that this thing really does have is oak moss. And oak moss, for those of you who don't know, is a scent or is a note that has been banned and is no longer in fragrances, which kind of makes this one a little bit harder. I know it's been reformulated, so you want to really be careful. This scent that I'm viewing is the non-reformulated version. We're talking about the original version that I'm touching up on. And unfortunately, I can't tell you the difference between a reformulated bottle and a new bottle. If anyone has any ideas, please feel free to leave it down in the notes below. But so far, I have not been able to pull up that information. So all senses aside, this is still talking about the non-reformulated version, because the reformulated version does smell different. I've smelled two versions of them. They smell different, but I wasn't able to tell the difference between the bottles. So unfortunately, sorry, I can't help you there. They do smell different though, and I'm mainly attributing it to the difference in the oak moss. The oak moss is probably not used in the new one, and that does make a big difference. Now, This one, I go about 3 sprays on it. I think it can be worn in any season and any occasion that you can possibly think of, to work, to class, you name it. You can wear it as a date, you can wear it casually. No matter the situation, you can wear it. Season-wise, it does just as good in the summer as it does in the winter. This is one that has staying power, it cuts through the cold air, and at the same time, it doesn't get cloying enough where you can't wear it in the summer. So, highly versatile fragrance you can definitely check out. Age group wise, it doesn't become as versatile because it has more of a mature vibe. It becomes a little bit hard to suggest to people who are under 25 years old. That doesn't mean that you can't pull it off, but some people might kind of look at you and feel that it doesn't necessarily, match with it. But if you can pull it off, by all means, go ahead with it. That's just a suggestion. Performance-wise, I get great performance on this scent. This is a rarity. This is going along with old school fragrances that tend to last longer, and this one is no exception. This one lasts roughly 12 to 15 hours on my skin. Lasts a long time. Once it starts getting to the 12-hour mark is when it starts becoming more of a skin scent. But it still lasts upwards of 12 hours. And before those 12 hours, this one is projecting a good amount. So people are going to definitely be able to smell you, and they're going to smell a scent trail as you walk past. So it's good in all those respects. Now, for compliments, this one still does get compliments and has always been a compliment getter from women. So you don't really have to worry about this one in that regards. If you wear it, you're probably going to get a couple compliments here or there. So it does excellent in those regards. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating a 9 out of 10. Now, it was really close to a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, there are 2 things that really keep me from giving it a 10 out of 10. And, if you feel that they're not detract worthy, then I would say feel free to consider it a 10 out of 10 in your mind. Now, the 2 things that detract from it, or let's start with the positive. The positive of it, this is a compliment getter. This is a great overall scent. It's a cheap scent. You can buy this cheaply. It is a scent that lasts a good amount of time. It's got great performance, and it's a scent that is pretty well, known amongst people, so you really can't go wrong. It's almost a safe scent. The negatives. There are really 3 main negatives with this. One is the amount of fakes that are around with this. You really have to be careful with this one. I can't stress it enough. Be careful of the fakes. Number 2, it's reformulated at this point. This one is reformulated, and it's even tougher to try and figure out, at least it was for me, to try and figure out which one is a reformulated version and a non-reformulated version. Because when we're talking about the reformulated version, which I'm not going to be touching upon or reviewing, I would probably bump this one down to an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. It's still a decent fragrance, but not the greatness that I'm sensing with this scent right now. And finally, with that reformulated version, it doesn't have oak moss in it, which I still don't agree with the decision to ban oak moss from fragrances, but it is what it is, all right? But either way, I still think it's a solid 9 out of 10. If you can get your hands on a non-reformulated version, feel free. You're killing it, basically. If you have one of those older fragrances before the time that oak moss was banned, you're killing it. It's an absolute gem of a fragrance. Hold on to it. You've got something good here, all right? So let me know what your thoughts are on. Again, if you have any information about the about how to tell a reformulated version from a non-reformulated version, then by all means leave it down below. I know there was one way, and that was via putting in the serial number on this website. I forgot what it was, but I'll post it down below. All right? Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.